Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. We have prezzies. So the ceremony of the unboxing will commence. And I've got the tripod this time, so we have two hands. And for those who didn't get that, that was an in-joke last time. The idea of doing it one-handed with the camera in my hand was deliberate. It was meant to be a struggle, and it was an in-joke with a very good friend of mine that my thoughts are with. So let's go, see what we got. This is Spiceotic Plants. Somebody who I regularly buy for. These two plants came up and were promptly bought with no thought, no regard for expense. They were bought before somebody else got them. And if I got them in front of you and you had your eye on them, there's no apology. You'll see why when we get in here. One of these I had never seen for sale before. I didn't even know it existed. So as soon as I saw it, I thought, I'm having that. Two reasons. And the other one is just basically one of the ones on a large and variable list that I've been after for some time. Can you tell what it is yet? I'll try not to get in the way, but at least I've got two hands this time. So we'll see how we get on. I hope we've got lolly sticks. I don't like parcels without lolly sticks. I do have another order on its way. I have a dispatch note, and it's coming from a vendor I've never bought from before. So I don't know what sort of... got a note. Didn't remember that before. Oh, it's a few little sort of culture hints. And thank you very much for your valued custom. Hope you're happy with your plants, etc. Yeah, that's nice. Don't remember getting that in previous ones. That's a nice touch. Note. So this is the first one. I've got no lolly stick. Ah. Never mind. I can live without a lolly stick. I'm making a mess already. Okay, as you can see, it's a Dendrobium, and it's Dendrobium black antelope. Spelt wrong. Antelope's got an E, not an I. Never mind. That's a nice plant. That was one of the first reasons for going for it. The second reason, I will try and put a pop-up of the bloom, because the word antelope is a clue. There is a classification within the Dendrobium genus of antelope type, yeah? And it means they have the very long, extended, twisted top parts. I'll put a picture up so you can see what I mean. That's a nice strong plant. Ooh, we've got new roots coming out all over the place. Let's see if we can get this sticky stuff off, and we'll have a look at the base of the plant. This is the bit that's practically impossible to do with one hand, which is why today we have two. There's some tasks I do with my orchids I'd like three, but you know, maybe in another 10 million years we'll have four hands. That's if we still exist as a species, of course. Let's get the big stick out. We don't need that. That's just for packing. Get the label out. I won't forget what it is. Right, now we can see. That's another thing. In the picture, we had new root growth. Yeah? Got a new growth here and a new growth here. So those two growths have not bloomed. Yeah? So there is potential for blooming. This one has got to blooming size, so it's a blooming size plant. We have new root growth. We have two strong new canes. What more could you want from a purchase? Yeah? Okay, once I've got these out of the box and everything, I'll sort the camera out, because at the moment it's quite close in. Ugh. So that's that one. You're going to like that. And this one There's another Dendrobium. It's a youngish plant, but it is flowering size, even though it's a small plant. That's how it is. Get the old sellotape out of the way. Okay, now look at these canes. We have unusual canes. You know me, I love my Dendrobiums, and this one is Rhodostictum. Do you know what classification that comes in? Yeah. This is a little Latouria type. Comes into that classification, although it's a nice new growth on it. This is not going to come off very easy. Such a tiny little pot. This is a miniature, so it doesn't grow large. Not everything needs to be big to be beautiful. Oh, this sellotape's hanging on there. It does not want to come off. I just need to lift it up on one side, just literally so that I can get the scissors underneath and go through once, and then it just unwraps. So you just need to get that through. Now this is potted in charcoal. Well, that's a novelty. Nothing wrong with that, as long as it's horticultural charcoal and not the stuff you put on your barbecue, which is obviously impregnated with stuff which you don't want. Okay, so that's a tiny little plant. There are roots underneath, and we do have a nice new growth. Okay, and that's that one. You going to focus? Yeah. Okay. So again, the ones that were on offer, some of them were in bloom. Well, they were all a similar size, so the fact that this one hasn't got a bloom on it doesn't matter. It's coming up to blooming size if it isn't blooming size. And I need to do a little bit of homework again. The homework will be purely to find out if this is suitable for a mount or should it stay in a pot. Yeah? Why do I need to make that choice? With Dendrobiums, the different classifications need different treatments. I mean, everybody knows about the Dendrobium phalaenopsis type that are basically continuous growers. You know, so they need to be in a medium that you can keep them growing in. And constantly drying out and being re-wetted and drying out and re-wetting doesn't suit them. So they're not suitable for a mount. Not really. They're better off in a pot, in some media, where they can stay moist for longer but still be allowed to dry through, especially in the winter time in the UK. So, you know, to me, that sort of classification is not suitable for mounting. And as this is a classification that I'm only just getting some plants in, I do need to think about that sort of thing and do a bit of homework. But yeah, that one may go on a mount, it may not. There are some roots down in that pot in under that charcoal. So we have got a root system. There's also what looks like a mass of black moss. Now the black moss isn't probably not because it's decayed, it's just because it's got charcoal around it and the charcoal stains black. Oh, you know, little charcoal, if you plant in that, you are going to get stained roots. That's just the way it's going to go. If you use big lumpy charcoal, if you have a look at Pippin's channel, she's often got all her plants are outside, growing nicely and hanging on trees, bolted to trees and stuff. But a lot of her media is large chunks of charcoal. And it works well like that because we're back to the theory of the Tulumnias that don't grow in things, they grow on things, and charcoal is not a bad medium for stuff to grow on. Yeah, but I personally wouldn't pot in it, but on it is a different thing. Okay, two nice little plants. Okay, I'll just have a clear up and then we'll just come back and I'll do a bit of homework and then come back and we'll just have a chat about these two. As I said, I've got another order coming which I don't know when it's going to arrive. I know it got dispatched yesterday, but it's not coming from this country as this one was, so I don't know how long it'll take. So there'll be another unboxing soon. Okay, that's got them out sorted, and quick look up on the internet to have a bit of a feel for these plants, where they come from and all that sort of stuff. So the Rhodostictum, the little species one here, is a genuine New Guinea type orchid, so classification Latouria, as we call it. That's not its Latin classification, that's just a way of identify them into a set. This is a montane forest grower, and I'd say it's a medium elevation. If you're talking 800 to 1200 meters, that's a medium elevation in that part of the world. So that's not that hot. It's not a hot grower, but I would suggest it's still up the warmer end of intermediate. In other words, it doesn't want to get cold in the winter. No rest. Both of these are in that category, and I like that because it means no messing about. I know what I'm doing. But this one sometimes grows, Rhodostictum sometimes grows as terrestrials. It's often found on like steep mossy slopes that would be probably constantly moist and often have running water down them. So it's capable of being a terrestrial. But the most important thing with both of these is that they don't dry out. Yeah, that particular area, although it has like a monsoon period, it gets rain all year round, and this is often the problem that worries people. There is no rest period. They do get rains throughout the year, you know, and temperatures are relatively constant. They don't get the summer-winter thing that I have to live with in the UK. So that's what I call a constant grower. Its environment that it comes from just allows it to continue to grow. The light levels don't change much, the temperatures don't change much, and the rainfall is continuous. There are rains throughout the year. So it's not, strictly speaking, a true monsoon area, because monsoon areas get loads of water and then they don't get much for quite a while. So slightly different. The little Rhodostictum is fragrant. It's regular blooms twice a year, and they last well. And basically, for me, it is going to be mounted because I can keep my mounts moist. Yeah, so, and it says in both cases with these, because of the high moisture requirement and everything like that, for hell's sake, don't get the new growths wet because they're prone to rotting. Yeah, once the canes get going, you know, not so bad. Right, the antelope one, although that's a hybrid to get that colour, nonetheless it is close to the species. The antelope type, I think their classification is Ceratobi, but I've always read it as Spathulata. But, you know, that's the, as I said, Dendrobiums is such a vast genus that it's divided up into classes within that. I think there's 5 or 6, something like that. And, you know, the Australian types, the Kingianum types, are a type. And often the antelope types are crossed with the Australian types. Now, that puts them in a bit of a quandary, because the Australian types do get the seasonal variations, and some of those grow in some really harsh conditions, they really do. But the antelope ones, this doesn't look like it should be, but it's recommended that they get vanderlight. They get very high light to the point of burning the leaves, so right up to that level of light. Now these look quite lush and fleshy and very Dendrobium phalaenopsis-like, and I wouldn't dream of getting those in that sort of light, but this says very, very high light, up to the point of burning if you wish them to flower well. So I'll see what I can do with that. They also can grow pretty big. And as soon as I hear that expression, I'm steering away from mounted orchids. I mean, this doesn't look a pendulous type. This looks like an upright grower. So if that goes on a mount and it needs high light, where the hell am I going to put the mount? Because the plant's going to go upwards. You know, my mounts hang near the roof. Well, if you've got a tall plant, you know, the mount's coming down into this bit where there's nowhere to hang it. So I can't do tall upright plants unless they get dealt with like that. You know, where the plant is strapped you know, and hung on a wire. That's where the Vandas live. That's not where the Dendrobiums live. And there's still space for one more, and I'm working on it. Okay, so that's those two. I'm pleased with the plants. This one's going on a mount. This one, I'm going to have a poke around, but if that bark looks good. It's rock hard and it feels new. So at the moment, I see no reason to repot that, which is unusual for me, you know, but it's good bark. And it's got new roots coming out. It'll get into that media. And the fact that it's nice bark, it can stay there for a while, you know, and give it a chance to really get a grip on life in my environment, you know. Changes of environment do set plants back a little bit. They take a while to acclimatise to your way, you know, as opposed to somebody else's way. And these two may have had several changes of environments quite recently, because obviously the Spiceotic Orchids is getting those plants from somewhere else. It's not a vast nursery like you'd get in the Netherlands or Germany or something like that. It isn't that sort of place. So the plants are coming from somewhere else. And that growing environment may well have imported them from the likes of New Guinea and places like that. So, you know, they've had changes of environments and light levels and everything. So they take a while to settle down. But I don't know whether I'll be filming mounting today, but I really do need to get my nester mounted before those buds get any bigger and I knock them all off. And if I'm going to do some mounting, I'll probably do that little one at the same time, and that one staying in its pot. So I'll put some pop-up blooms somewhere in this video back along the way so that you can see what they look like. This has a pretty little white flower with deep purple veining and markings and is very fragrant, and the bloom on this one just has to be seen. So I'll put some pop-ups. Okay, thanks for watching. Unboxing ceremony 1 of 2, but whether the second one is this week or not I don't know, because I haven't bought from those people before. But you know, it's coming from the EU, and apart from a couple of countries which are notoriously bad with the old postal system, we know who you are. You know, it should actually not spend long in transport, and we'll see what we get in the second box. Thanks for watching then, see you next time.